Okay. Koma singabire kwa uje na sita ibanga through the direct. Jabwino. Thank you. Oh, sorry for that. The focus of research for public relation writer is on applicable intent, whatever that is. Research information and speech, okay, blah, 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 and FDI can give insight, yes. I think that is enough for research. As I said, chapter 3 is very connected to persuasion, because the Ticatero Sultima Abirapo. My exam script, I think in WS next week, though next week I'm not sure if I'm available. I might travel to the north. So we lost one which is last time, so we are going to lose the second week. Yeah, but we can arrange so that it Tamanga. What I wanted was we should start now learning about the actual writing Yama so we can arrange it for a different time. Yeah, because next week I'm not sure. I might travel to Karonga. So I will travel on Monday and be back on Friday or Saturday. So it's Candy class. But if anything happens later, I'll let you know. Okay. Yes, good. Just give me some 5 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, we should be hunting in class. No, this is not our class. We should be hunting in class. Yes. Sorry for that.
I tried. Mr. Teacher has gone back to school. For 9 more months. Leaving the girls today.
Did you bring your paper?
Yes, ma'am. You want that?
Yeah.
What's your number?
This is your name, Benjamin Truth.
Did you write it there? Did you put your number there?
Yeah. Hey, is what?
Yeah, why? Why do you want to know that?
I just want to know.
Why is it in the dish?
This is me. What about the assignment?
The assignment, I told you on the portal, but I don't know what is happening because I told you, I said, I uploaded, but it's like the student has not seen them. So, I don't know, they said they would work on that. If not, then just send direct question, but I already recorded.
Yeah, you can send it. Right now.
No, not now. The record is at home. Do you remember where I entered?
No.
Why? Where is it? So you don't write it?
I read this question, but the theory, you want to write an A.
Then those are the things we have to work towards.
Yeah, I know them, but explanation.
Those you have to understand them and then you have to be able to apply them. That's the relevance, man, basically. Yeah. So we started looking at early childhood education. The role of early childhood we did. Then the origin of preschool education.
Yeah, we did.
But we did not look at origin of preschool education from its original origin. We just started looking at origin of early childhood education.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody asks you what is the origin of early childhood education from the global perspective, what would you say? So we'll still go back to the ancient times of your friends later. So let's quickly just browse through the ancient times. Origin of preschool education, ancient times. So Plato is widely recognized as the first person to classify education into the formal levels as we know them today in the modern society. So most of the things have been attributed to Plato being the first person, Plato being the first person to have introduced education. Remember, Plato is an idealist. Yes? What does an idealist do? His thinking is based on ideas. Yes. Something which is real for them are ideas. Okay? If I look at you, I have to go beyond you in order to establish what you really are beyond what I can see. An idea. So the education levels by Plato, recorded by Akim Plato, were as follows. The first category we has or level was that of nursery or kindergarten for children aged 3 to 6 years. According to him, that's where education needed to start from, 3 to 6 years. And then he had the elementary primary level for children aged 7 to 10 years. Elementary level. Children aged from 7 to 10 years. The first one is nursery, 3 to 6 years.
Yeah.
The second, elementary or primary level, which is for children aged 7 to 10 years. Then you have the third one, the secondary level, for children aged 11 to 17 years.
11
to 17 years.
Oh.
And then the higher education for adults, aged from 20 to 35. So he was trying to just explain the levels of education in general. That at least after reaching 35 years, you must have attained your PhD, right? So these are the 4 main stages that he talked about. Then one thing that is very important for us to appreciate about Plato is his great idea about how and why children between 3 and 5 years should be educated. This becomes very interesting even now, but when you have a proper establishment of how you have to offer these education to these children, if you offer it well, you have many parents, coming to you, because nowadays there are issues of social media. So parents do share which schools are doing best for their children, and so they do recommend through those social media. It has happened that in some instances, parents end up losing, schools end up losing children because of influence from other parents. So if you do not do it right, your school loses its name and children leave because the decisions come from parents. Why? They are seeing how their children are performing. So if they are performing well and good. If they are underperforming, then I will take my children from your school. Okay? So he was of the opinion that the process of education should start as early as possible. According to him, this is because during the childhood period, any impression which one may wish to communicate is easily stamped and taken. Okay? Stamping. You will believe any small thing that I'll tell you when you are a little kid. When I slap you, you come back to me again. Mommy, Daddy! You know? Why? Your world is too small at that time. You have nowhere to go to. Why? I am the one that you trust, right? Yes. So even if I beat you, even if I mistreat you, but you still depend on me because you have nowhere else to go. Those are kids. And that's why he's saying it is easy for us to put a stamp on their character when they come here. Because their worldview is small. You know? It's still sharp. So the childhood period is the stage when we can start to give the necessary training for an all-round development of the child. All around what do we mean? You have to develop morally, you have to develop socially, you have to develop emotionally, you have to develop intellectually, you have to develop physically. So we need to take care of all of these categories of child development. All these levels of child development, areas of child development. Why? We are grooming this child to be an adult tomorrow. And what we want to groom is that which society accepts of this person and of every person in this community. Plato says we should not wait till the child has become an adolescent or an adult before we start his education, because it will be very difficult. I have an example of one of the friends. She started school very late. He started school very late, but still managed to go to the university and passed very well. But the way he speaks, the way she speaks, is still some broken English, right? If you look at the way especially she pronounces the words, you can run away. But this one is a graduate from a public university. Give her something to write. Perfect. Give her an audience to talk to. You will just be laughing. Because this one, he seems to be very, very difficult in it. You know? But it's comfortable that when you give the work, she's going to do it perfect. And she makes sure that she beats the target. The due date, always on time. You know? But what went wrong? She started school late. And so the concentration was much on passing than much on the perfect way of communication. So that shows the certain ages that a child is supposed to learn this or that when it comes to language. Okay? Now, let's say it would be very difficult to start teaching a an adult how to read at 57, how to write at 57 years. The mind has already been accumulated and saturated with a lot of programs already. Huh? If someone goes to the university at a very old age, in most cases they struggle. Because they already have too many responsibilities, a lot of things to think about, unless you are extraordinary. But it is difficult for men. You know, you'll be intimidated by looking at Ruth. By looking at Ruth, and she's beating you in class. Hey, already that intimidation is discouraging. Okay? So another important contribution of Plato in this ancient education to development of early childhood is in the area of the learning environment. The learning environment. We must place the child among those things or places or people which are like what we want the child to become. What kind of an environment should we place this child? We will determine what kind of a human being this child should become tomorrow. What kind of a child, that child that you took to Atlanta, where you have taken her or him, the kind of an environment that you have taken him or her will determine what kind of life you are preparing for the child. And that's why sometimes you will be able to say, I don't want you to go to my village, no. Right? Why? Of course it's good. But it depends what you want to bring into this child. So you can mold the child's well-being. Plato realized that children always like to imitate people or things around them. So if you place them in a particular environment, they will be imitating those things around that environment. And most likely, that's what they're to become. If you're growing up with a nigger guy, you are most likely to develop into a nigger, to become a nigger. If you're growing up with a person who is holy every time, you're most likely to develop into such kind of a character. The churches did what? Came to Africa. The colonizers came and through churches indoctrinated people into believing what they want them to believe. Today, the Catholic Church is everywhere. Today, the Anglican Church is everywhere. Today, all these other churches are everywhere. And people have forgotten about their own traditions. And we are busy fighting now. This is the truth. No, this is, our God is the only one who is the first, right? Why? Because others decolonized us. Colonized us, decolonized us from our own original thinking. Dehumanized us. Okay? We want a certain humanization. Actually, they humanize us, so we need to be dehumanized. So Plato says the environment in which you are humanizes you to be what you have to become. Okay? So the process of humanization is like I'm trying to indoctrinate you. You need to believe this. Ruth, you need to do this. When you are kept by somebody at home, they want you to do things the way they want them to be done. So that's the process of humanization. We are deculturing you with the character that you came with, and we want you to behave the way that we want. So if we do not want them to imitate bad things, we must expose them to only good and desirable things, attitudes, and values. That was Plato. We must also appreciate the fact that Plato brought in these good ideas of early childhood education at a time when education was not well coordinated. So people were just doing whatever they thought was good for them or was good for the child. It's like what we're doing now in Malawi. I dream of coming up with a preschool today, but always with a building somewhere. I don't care how safe it is or protecting the thing, but I just put a poster there and people start bringing their children. I employ someone with a standard 8 qualification or level. Doing education anyhow. That's you don't care what you will be offering to the child. So Plato's ideas marked the beginning of formal education or formal schooling system, where the curriculum was to be drawn, which had to be familiar with what the child or the child's environment had. We talk about modern Europe in one of the earliest units. If we could learn how children were treated in the Middle Ages. Okay? From the 17th century, during the Reformation, men and women were inspired by religious or humanitarian feelings to protect and defend the life and rights of children because of religion. During the Reformation system. Without religion, treat them as anyhow, as useless little things. After all, what will benefit from children? Not until they grow. But now the thinking is changing that if we benefit from an adult is coming from a child. So if the adult is to have a beneficial life, a healthy life, then we need to take care of the child. Who is going to turn into a useful adult tomorrow. So through great people like John Calvin and the Puritans, a comprehensive model of child development was provided. Okay? Now, Mr. Calvin, the Puritan, under the leadership of Calvin, took child rearing practices very seriously. We imagine if we take child rearing very seriously, do you think you would have people come to your center? How serious would that be if we call it serious? You are coming up with a child care center, and we are saying you have learned, right? Graduate of early childhood, bachelors. How serious? How organized you that your center here? I want that greatness. How great? What will make it great?
Our brother, there is the IHEA. I'm growing professional. Even the cook presentation beautiful. Yeah.
Why should the school premise be beautiful?
To attract children.
Why?
They need to feel that they are in school. The premises without any or diagrams of what were different the food feeding needs to be good as well. The room needs to be there. Then the children, even parents, the school director is professional. Yeah.
When we talk about the school rules,
Mm.
should we give them to the little kids? They're just innocent. Why should we put the rules?
Maybe for teachers, yeah, you need to every week to give something that they need to work hard, take care of children, not always on phone, what so many things, and maybe put on like need to tell parents the exact time when they want to pick their children. If they maybe they try to get in school in time, so many things.
So for the kids, the culture, no need for the timetable, for school
Yeah, maybe in nursery, 3 to 6 years, there's no, of course, like fighting. Yeah. Fighting, maybe, what? Yeah, I think those things are not in rules.
There are those which are not strict and others are strict.
Yeah.
Like you can steal your friend's pen, not
Or
strict.
they're strict. They're strict. But you need to, at least you need to have professional teachers to guide them. Yeah.
So rules must start as early as possible. You put them there. Of course, they cannot read, but that also acts as a guide to you as a teacher. Okay? Do not fight. Fighting is not allowed here. What methodology approaches would you use that it gets sunk into their mind? Fighting is not allowed here. Would you show them some videos that are exhibiting someone who fights the others, and then the others do not want to play with him, and then he's alone crying there, and so you tell, have you seen that one? He's crying because his friends do not want to play with him. He's a bad boy. He's fighting. That's why they don't want to play with him. So if you fight, we also not play with you. Do you want us not to play with you? No. You know, such kind of thinking. So they need to start being trained slowly but slowly. You tell them, but the rules are there, and you tell them by word of mouth. But which rules are there, it's now you to know and guide the learners. Now, you were saying, talking about the institution being beautiful and what that does to the mind of the child. Children are imaginative, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why at a certain level of the early childhood we do not encourage teachers to teach them about theories, right? Because they will not understand, they will not concentrate. So they're using so much of the senses, the eyes, sense of seeing, sense of touch, because they are too energetic and they want to experience, they want to explore at that point. So if they see something which is beautiful, they will want to explore. Tomorrow they want to come again, back to school because they want to see something new. Or they want to see that same thing which is beautiful. At a certain level, they are able to judge and say, oh, this is beautiful. At a certain point, I think your child or someone might have told you to say, look, you're looking beautiful today. Right? And then you wonder, okay, this personal thing, what? How does he know, how does she know what beauty is and what beauty is not? You know? They are able to see with their small eye. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so there's a belief that children have the capacity for learning at an early age and that they could be helped to become independent and self-reliant individuals. With us, we help them be reliant. In most cases, in the African thinking, we have always behaved that when we are to make children independent, then we have to win them by giving them to the grandmother, grandfather. Grandmothers, that's the traditional way of winning, right?
Yeah.
Is it good?
No.
How is it good?
Sometimes it's granny. I don't know what I get it, but I'm a bank. I'm a dad. I'm a position. Like, if they ask for anything, they
That's
always
what
give
you
them.
They like to ask for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Which one is good? Beating them?
No. Sometimes when the thing is not there, you need to tell them that there's no money, there's no, not every time when they are give. They think you get things easy. Yeah.
What if the things are there? Should we still not give them whenever they ask?
Not all the time. Not all the time.
So I have the money. I have the apple. My baby is asking for the apple. I say, I don't have when it is there. Because I'm teaching him or I or something. That sometimes you need to learn that things are not always available. Am I telling the child to say, why not tell the child to say sometimes things will not be available? So when you ask and I don't give you, it means mommy does not have. It means daddy does not have. Okay? I'm giving you now because I have. Alright? The traditional African thinking is we need to start training the child already. Right? Is it a good one? I will take a minute about this. Yeah?
It's not good.
So that even when there are two cars at home, the wife does not drive. Why? She's a woman. Who is she to drive? The children who are grown-ups cannot drive. Why? I don't know. Why can't we start teaching them how to be careful now? That's the importance of training. We can even use this knowledge into other areas. Okay? How can we use early childhood in other aspects? It could be used as a theory to help people to become independent and self-reliant when we entrust the responsibilities at the very beginning with them. Otherwise, force to capture that. So people like the philosophers like John Comenius, John Locke, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Frederick Schroeder, and Maria Montessori all contributed greatly to the development of early childhood education at that global level. Okay? From their individual contributions, childhood education has been generally accepted and a desirable thing for children in all parts of the world. So, from that, we would say, at the global level, it's been accepted. Even in the United Nations organization, it has adopted certain declarations of the rights of the child. And now we even have got victim support unit, where children can go there to complain if there is any mistreatment. Okay? Malawi has, as a member of the United Nations organization, has endorsed the declaration like others about children's rights. Okay? If we look at countries in the Western Europe and North America, they are in front, they are in the forefront in the call for the eradication of all forms of child abuse. This time you cannot abuse a child and go scot-free. Once it goes on social media, they see you whipping a child, you are in trouble. Yeah. Moreover, there are some guidelines that are there to state when do we determine that a child has been abused or not. A child has been mistreated or not. When children should start school. You must comply to that as a parent. Okay? Alright, then we have, that was the ancient education. Then we have preschool education in Britain. So there is an important fact about preschool education in Britain which we must discuss before we jump to education, early childhood education. And this has to do with children under 5 years. Until the beginning of the 20th century, there was no separate school for children below the age of 6. Provisions for them were included in primary schools only. And this is what we've been struggling here in our country, to accept and start implementing early childhood education, providing early childhood education in all government institutions or primary schools. This is what is happening in other countries. Wherever there is a primary school, you are also supposed to have another school. So that children should start from there, and then as they go on, when they reach reception, if they are eligible, then those are the ones who will go for standard 1. Okay? Yeah. So if we start that, then I don't think we'll have a lot of challenges for the teachers in standard 1. Okay? All right. So in Britain, it was old women, especially, who were running the preschools. They are done with the jobs, they have retired. To keep you busy. You know? So it was a job for the old women. It was one way of helping them to keep busy, you know? Yeah. But at the same time, it was some kind of a part time that when the parents of those kids were away, we could easily go and take your child there, you pay something. So that kept the old women busy, but at the same time, they were also making a living out of that. Another group that made great efforts in the provision of preschool establishment for children in Britain during this time was the Sunday school movement under the leadership of Robert Rex. Sunday school movement. So now this started in church, okay? Where you form Sunday school classes and then you're teaching these children about the doctrine of your church, about morality. It kept the kids very happy. The play centers were there and children would go to socialize and associate with other children from other families, but within the same church. So the first school by the group was established in 1780 to cater for children who worked in factories from morning till evening, for parents of children who worked in the industries. Is this good for the children to be away from their parents as they are going for work? You are here, your child is at home, is it good? No. Will you forever be with your child? No. Then, which one is better? Or should we say there should be a certain age limit where you can start winning the child to start implanting that independence aspect in them, so that you can also do other things to feed the child. Because if we all see that I'm taking care of you, we will not eat. The wife would tell your husband to say, my dear, this I love you, kisses will not win if you do not step out of here and go and fetch for food for us to eat. After all the loving and whatever sweet way, we will need to eat too. So go and fetch for a wise wife. So parents used to work in factories from morning until evening, about 6 to 7 hours a week. So they needed somebody to be taking care of the children. When you have kids, you need to run up and down material to make ends meet. If you sit down, the German and I know too. If you cannot take care of your own woman, others will. And these are facts of life, right? So this education was given to these children during their free time at work. The education was given to them during their free time at work. That is, if parents were free, they would give elementary education to their children. Okay? So in 1803, the number of schools under the Sunday School Union had risen to 7,000 with 850 pupils. 800,000 pupils. 850,000 pupils. Of all ages from 3 upwards. So another person who made efforts in the provision of physical education during this period was Robert Owen. It was Robert Owen. Okay. Now, this one was entirely a socialist who believed that the environment is entirely determined by character and personality. The environment is the one which determines character of a person and personality of the person, or one's personality. So he started an infant school in New Lanark in 1816. That was Robert Owen. He started an infant school in New Lanark in 1816. And his method of teaching was based on securing children's attention through interesting activities and not the rod. Not the rod, interesting activities. This is very remember. Robert Owen established a school. And for him, the mode of teaching was that of securing children's attention. Now, how would you capture children's attention if it were you? Robert Owen says, for me to make these children stop making noise in a class of 60, it's difficult. Last week we went for teaching observations, teaching practice observations, and some classes have got 300 students, some students. 300 students. And so they were saying, it's like God has said our prayers through you. That we're going to divide these classes, this class actually, into 3 streams, 100. And the students teach a minute, 100 students. And so when they complained, we said, this is teaching practice for you, my friend. When we said you are going for TEP, this is the teaching practice. Because these are the things that you are going to find on the ground when you are deployed by government. So keep on. Let's move. Now, how would you make children who are 100 in number to be excited with your activities? One of them, what approach would you use? I'll mention the easiest stage. Singing. You start that famous song which they love most, which they are playing in the Makuka. Like which one? If you just come in, I say. You see, they will start. I say, the class will be, wow. And you know that once you stop, it's quiet. At least for a short time. Come up with another activity. Can we sing? Can we jump? Can we march? Where you are, let us march. Where you are, let us dance. Can you play some music? Let it be something which captures the attention of learners. We are together. Otherwise, up to the time I do that, crying that madam, these children, me, I can't manage. Why can't you not manage? Yeah. So that was Mr. Owen. Who talked about interesting activities and not a whip or stick, a rod to control children. That's not what they need. Okay? So that was in Britain. Preschool education since 1900 was very significant in the development of pre-primary education in Britain. And the Education Act of 1870, which most of the countries that were colonized by Britain used, 1870-1880, stipulated the official school age at 5. Okay? For a child. schools which had separate floors for infants, juniors, and all children were well patronized. So you had to organize and check through them properly. Okay? Why? Sometimes they can be that carelessness, right? The little ones are bumped in and they fall, they're trying and what, so you needed proper organization of such a school. In 1870, about a quarter of all the 5 years old were in school. That was in Britain. Goodness, they're using their own official language, so there isn't much struggle there than us starting to learn English again. If we are learning everything in Chichewa, no problem. That's why we have students who are from 4, but they cannot speak proper English, but they are able to write something sensible and fast, which someone cannot believe. So by 1900, the public elementary schools and the private nursery schools were admitting the 3 and 5-year-olds, hence the high increase in the number of such children in schools. By those days, the ratio for teacher to pupil was 1 to 6. Can a child tell, even if you are a failure teacher? Then you are really a failure. Okay? So in 1905, public schools started rejecting preschool children. Why? You look at the population. Population of under 5 children in schools dropped. Because they were definitely getting those children who were at least of a higher age. So the policy of not allowing preschool children in public primary schools gave rise to the establishment of now private nursery schools as they were from them called. So this is, as we are seeing, the original primary, pre-primary education. Why? They were first into the normal system, but later on were rejected because schools became too overloaded, and then they had to start their own schools fresh. That we would say is the true origin of early childhood education. Okay? Is that enough? If somebody asks you where did early childhood originate from, the concept or perspective of early childhood is same. The idea from Plato and other philosophers, separation from the mainstream